Hi there, my fellow YouTubians. Well, I hadn't made a video in a little bit because my throat was sore over the past week. And now that my throat's all better, I have a runny nose. So, yay! But I wanted to discuss a number of things with you, if you don't mind. First of all, Jake's Bikini won my last contest. Jake's Bikini submitted the title Sherlock Holmes for my previous consecutive contest. And once that was over with, I picked another 3 titles and asked people to vote on them. And Sherlock Holmes got a number of votes with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. And so Jake's Bikini is the winner of that particular phase, which means, Mr. Bikini, sir, that you get to pick the topic of one of my upcoming videos. If you want to leave me a comment or send me a PM here on YouTube letting me know what you'd like your customized prize video to be on, please let me know. That would be great. Second, Zako263 is one of my favorite people to review movies here on YouTube, and he is about to do another director series. He previously did Quentin Tarantino, and it's an awesome series to do. He does great reviews of films. He is doing Christopher Nolan. Awesome. Love Christopher Nolan. Really fantastic director, and I'm very eager to hear what he thinks of all of his films. So I have links to Mr. Zako263, so you can check him out if you're not already subbed him. If you're not already subscribed to his channel. I don't think you'll be disappointed. What's next? Oh yeah, the last 4 or 5 weeks or so have been a big drought as far as films to go see in the theater. There have been a number that I've kind of sort of been interested in, but not excessively so. So I really haven't seen anything much over the past month or so, except for the Wall Street sequel, which started off pretty good, but then ended up not so well, and I was warned about that, so it wasn't like I was surprised. But I will say one thing. Michael Douglas now looks ridiculous with his hair slicked back like it was in the original movie. It just looks kind of dumb. Not a bad movie. I really like Josh Brolin a lot. I think he's very good. Yeah, not what I was hoping for. Oliver Stone seems to have kind of lost his teeth. Or maybe he's just mellowed with age. I don't know. This past weekend, Unstoppable opened, and Unstoppable is by a director who I've seen every single one of his movies in the theater ever since 1991. That was The Last Boy Scout, a Bruce Willis action movie, which was great. Since that time, Tony Scott has made movies like True Romance, Crimson Tide, Man on Fire, Enemy of the State. He did Pelham 1, 2, 3 last year, and I like about half of those, and the other half I don't really like very much at all. Man on Fire, for example, and Pelham 1, 2, 3 are two of the ones that I don't really like very much. But the ones that I do like, I like very much, a lot. True Romance was one that he did from a Tarantino script, one that Tarantino didn't direct himself, and that turned out very well. Crimson Tide is a good submarine thriller, military submarine thriller. Deja Vu is a time travel movie, one of my favorite movies by Tony Scott. And now Unstoppable is this runaway train movie, and it's his 5th movie with Denzel Washington. And it's pretty decent. It's a good, exciting film, not too complicated, not too groundbreaking or anything like that, but you don't really look for that with Tony Scott. He's a good sort of meat and potatoes action and suspense movie director. And I will say that his style has gotten to be a little bit much. I think he should calm down some, because so many shots are now revolving around actors. And the problem is when you have Denzel Washington sitting in the cab of a train for half the movie, the camera can only revolve around him part of the way. So when I watch the shot of him saying his line as the camera revolves around him, I'm thinking, okay, the camera could only be moving just for that one little bit. So do they have to like stop the train or back it up or something like that and reset that camera move every single time they want to do a new take of that one line? Yeah, these are the kinds of things I think about. All in all, not a bad movie. Like Chris Pine. Chris Pine's turning out to be really cool. And I saw him last year in a movie called Carriers, which is like the serious version of Zombieland. 4 people on a road trip. They're trying to avoid everyone because there's a plague. It's not zombies, it's a plague. And it's a more serious take on that mini sub genre. But it's fairly decent, and Unstoppable is fairly decent too. It's an exciting movie, so yeah, I wouldn't ignore it. I would put it in the plus column for Mr. Tony Scott. Also, I saw Hereafter, and that was something that I'd been putting off for a while. Clint Eastwood is a director I've seen a lot of his movies on, but the last few I haven't really bothered to go and see in the theater. And Hereafter I was sort of interested in because it's one of those movies like Babel, where there's like 3 different storylines taking place in 3 different countries, and eventually they all sort of come together in the end. Pretty decent movie. Not one of my favorite Eastwood movies, but I certainly liked it better than the movies he did on Iwo Jima from a few years back. Matt Damon, he's really good. Mohr, I don't see him very much lately, but he's also good in it. The other storylines involve a French newscaster or a TV journalist, and the other storyline takes place in London, and it's a pair of twin brothers concerning them. And it's all sort of about the afterlife as well, about connections with the afterlife. Matt Damon is a psychic who can communicate with the spirits of people who have passed on. Bryce Dallas Howard is in as well. I thought it was interesting the way some conversations really sort of played out like real conversations rather than sort of plot and conflict geared conversations. I think if they had rewritten it more, that probably would have lost some of that. So it was kind of refreshing. Yeah, decent movie all in all. Not one of my favorite Eastwood movies, but pretty good. And I'm looking forward to a lot more movies coming out, like True Grit, Black Swan, the new Tron film. These are all movies I'm really super excited by, but those 2 were actually pretty decent. Now, there's a couple issues I want to address here concerning YouTube. I've been experiencing some problems lately. Here, I'll show you what I mean. If you take a look at here, you'll see that I've queued up a video to watch. And if you look closely, you'll see that the entire video is loaded right now. The bar is showing that it's fully loaded. But if I hit the full screen function right here, now as you can see, if you look closely, you'll see that the video is now trying to reload itself all over again. Now, this didn't used to happen. It used to be that you could load an entire video and then hit the full screen option, and then it would play immediately. You could play it immediately. But now, whenever you hit full screen, it like wipes out all the data that's been downloaded. You have to start all over again. And I find that very disappointing. I don't like that. And it didn't used to be that way. I'm not sure what the problem is. But another problem, which I find a little bit more serious, is the whole video response thing. I have quite a lot of videos now on my channel, over 150 videos. And I find that when I want to make a new video and make a video response to someone else's, I can't do it anymore. Because when I go to the option to leave a video response to designate one of my videos as a response, it will only show me the first half of my videos. It won't go all the way to the end, and I can't designate any of those video responses anymore. And that's very disappointing because that means I either have to delete videos that I've already had on there in order to make a video response, or I just can't do it at all. I have to do links and stuff like that. I'm not sure why that's happening, and I would very much like to know how that can be remedied. So if any of you have any information about that, I would appreciate you getting back to me with it. Finally, I would like to tell you about my new contest, and this is a little bit stupid, but I thought it might be fun. A few weeks ago, on the 4th of November, a guy who calls himself LuisVlogs subscribed to me, and so I checked out his channel and liked what he had to do and subscribed back to him. He does shout-out videos. He does pretty much exclusively shout-out videos now. 2 a week is what his whole plan is. And he said basically, if you subscribe to me, I'll give you a shout out in one of my upcoming videos. Well, he's got over 500 subscribers, and he's only had his channel up since July, so that's quite an accomplishment. So my contest basically is, since I'm subbed to him, he'll do a shout out of me one day. It may be next week, probably not. It may be months or even a year from now. I don't know. Leave a text comment and pick a future date. Any future date. And whenever LuisVlogs gets around to giving me his shout out, or giving me my shout out on his channel, whoever picked the closest date will be the winner. I don't know how long this is going to take. It's kind of self-serving, seeing as how I'm shouting out him in my own video. He might bump me up the line a little bit. Probably not, but yeah, I really like his whole his spirit quite a bit. The first video of his I saw was the one he posted on Halloween. That's a really funny one. I've got a link to that one as well. So yeah, do yourself a favor, check him out. Maybe you want to sub him. Maybe you want him to give you a shout out. I'm ahead of you in line right now. Yeah, why not? And for those of you who whoever you guess is closest to the date that eventually somewhere decades from now he gives me my shout out, that person I will make the prize winner. Hopefully I haven't run over 15 minutes now. This is kind of a long one. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it, and I will talk to you again soon. Take it easy.